Notice how Jesus answers this prayer to him. And Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I will be clean. He touched him. Doesn't sound like much, maybe. There's a lot in there. God touched him. He touched him on the shoulder, head, I don't know where he touched him. God touched him physically. How did God do that? Because God took on a body and became the God-man. He touched him. He came down to him as he has come down to all of us. The God-man, the only mediator between God and men, our advocate on high, 100% God, 100% man. Our elder brother, made like unto us in all ways except sin. He touched him. He came down to him. And in the healing, in the answering of prayer, there was the touch of the God-man. Union with Christ. That's how it happens. Through the God-man and union with him by faith, God works all things according to his will and counsel for the glory of Christ and for your eternal good. Through the union of the God-man. We go to the throne of grace. It's a throne of mercy on high because there's a man there, sitting there, upon whose merits we enter. He prays for us. His prayers are effectual. None of his prayers have ever been denied. He stands there for you by name. Advocate on high. And that's how prayer is answered. Because we have the God-man. There's something even deeper here. We know so much about leprosy and the way it was treated because Moses gives extensive treatment to leprosy in the law. There was cleansing rites, there was ways to test if somebody was clean from it, and all the rest. What happened if you touched somebody who was a leper? You was unclean. Which means you were just as defiled as they were. Which means you couldn't just walk in the society. You had to go through a cleansing rite. You were cast out for the time. Touching a leper made you unclean. So that tells you something else about this leper's life. Was he somebody giving dabs to everybody? You walk in here, you give dabs or hugs to somebody, you take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? You know, Brady bought me a book, I kissed his cheek. He took that for granted, right? The leper never got any such treatment. No human touch. You and I probably underestimate the power of that. Unable to touch anybody, and no one would dare to touch him. And all of a sudden, he finds himself unexpectedly being touched by a kind, gentle hand of a human being. The God-man touched the leper. Now, if you really want to get deep with it, this would have made Jesus ceremonially unclean, except for the fact that that very touch cleansed him. But what a picture of the gospel, beloved. He who was made a curse for us, so that we might be blessed. He who was made sin on our behalf. He who took our guilt upon himself and in the same moment made us clean. The transference of guilt. Jesus Christ on the cross was treated as guilty. He truly bore our sins. And in the touch of the God-man, there's a transference, beloved. The cleansing, healing touch where Jesus Christ takes all your guilt and all your defilement and all your filth and it's gone and leaves you cleansed.